Okay, so today's video is covering the Xerox Docuprint M225dw printer, and it's the problem with this printer where you can push on the power button as much as you like and the printer will not turn on. This problem is relatively easy to fix. All that needs to be replaced to solve this problem is a new supercapacitor. Has to be installed on the circuit board. The supercapacitors are available on my website to purchase. Just head over to fixitfastelectronics.com. On the section there is the printer parts that are available to purchase. So today we are changing the supercapacitor and it lives on the main board. So first you have to determine if your machine is broken, i.e. the power supply is blown up, or if it's just simply a case that the supercapacitor is faulty and it needs replacement. So to test if your machine is repairable or if it is broken, it's simply a case of unplugging the power cord from the power socket as so. You hold down the power button, and whilst you're holding the power button down, you plug the power socket back in. When you plug it in and you're holding the power button down at the same time, the machine will come back to life, and that will tell you that the supercapacitor on the main board has reached its maximum life, which is usually around 4,000 to 6,000 hours the spare part is rated at. So if your machine, when you've done this procedure, does not turn on, your power supply is blown up and there is no point continuing any further. You'll need to purchase a new power supply to fix your printer. Depending on where you live around the world, it may be cheaper just to buy a new printer. So, alright, so to get into the repairs, we will unplug the machine from the power point, pull the paper tray out, we'll open the front of the machine, pull the drum unit out, set it aside, and you just want to put a piece of paper over the top of the drum unit or several layers. You do not want to get light into this drum unit, strong light, as it damages it because it's a photoconductor. The next step we have to do is go around to the back of the printer. We need to pull the duplex tray out. We need to open the rear door. We need to push here and release the inner door like so. We need to push here, release the inner door like so. Remove this door. We then need to remove the inner door from this side first, in here. It goes in there like so. We'll pull that out, and that's all we need to remove so far. Next step we have to do is, if you have your network socket in here, you need to pull the protective plastic cover out. Then we need to go on to removing the cover screws which keeps this cover on. So we take this screw out here. Now we go around to the front of the machine, we open the door. If your machine has a screw in here, take it out. Most machines won't. We undo the cover from here and from here. And then we just carefully pry the cover off. And this gives us access to the motherboard, and this is the supercapacitor right here that we need to change. Now, in past videos I've made for different brands, versions of this machine, some people have taken it upon themselves to completely remove this circuit board, unsolder the supercapacitor from the underside of the circuit board, solder a new capacitor through the circuit board, put it all back together, and suddenly found that their printer doesn't work anymore. There's a reason why I do this from the top down, not from the underside. It's because these circuit boards are not dual-sided. They are actually multi-layered. So the circuit board will have 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 or 5 separate layers, all sandwiched together. And if you go unsoldering this part from the underside, you can break all the connections that go between the multiple layers of this board, and you end up basically wrecking your entire printer. So my method is we start by removing these cables. So we grab this and we just tuck it back over here where it's out of the way. We'll do the same with this cable here. We'll just tuck that one over so it's all out of the way. And that gives us clear access. So these are a vertical capacitor. It's just simply a matter of snipping the leads, and more importantly, we need to pay attention. So we need to pay attention to the capacitor and the way it's located in. So depending on the capacitor we send out, if you order it on our website, we're looking at the way the capacitor looks as to the way it goes in. So with these capacitors, this particular variety, it's going to go in this way. So you'll see that this side of the capacitor bulges out further out of the plastic body, and on this side it's completely flat, so it goes in this way. We can also send out these capacitors, which are the easiest of all to install because they come with very long leads. There is a bit of a worldwide shortage on this capacitor at the moment. We've got plenty of stock available. These ones are great because we could simply just snip the leads on here that leaves little pigtails, and then we can just simply tack this one on like so, and then everything's great, everything works. So what we've got to do is we've got to get under the leads, just extend it out a little bit, like so, and just get yourself a good pair of cutters. These are the ones I like to use, and we simply snip it free. And we bend it over, and that gives us access. So we've been left a little pigtail there, we've got a little pigtail here, and we simply snip it off, and that gives us plenty of room to work. It's not about making it pretty, it's simply about making it work. So we've got two little pigtails now. Now when you're soldering the new capacitor on, don't use the new environmentally friendly lead-free solder. It requires a hotter temperature and it is very hard to solder with. It's not easy solder to work with. I use the old-fashioned lead-based solder. So yeah, whatever it is, 40% lead, 60% tin, I think it is, or the other way around. And we're just simply going to heat the pigtails up that are remaining here, and then we'll add a bit of solder to it, and then we'll solder the new capacitor on. And you have to avoid all the surface mount components here. You don't want to get those damaged, otherwise everything will be wrecked and it's time to buy a new printer. Okay, so there we got a little bit hooked on. Alright, so we got long legs on these. We're just going to cut the legs a little bit shorter. We're going to prepare the capacitor by tinning the leads. Okay, so now our capacitor has on the end. Okay, and that's the capacitor tacked in. It doesn't have to be pretty, it simply has to be stationary and solidly soldered to the circuit board. So we'll just clean up the area, get any little solder blobs that we've left, get them out of the road. We'll tip the machine over and just let gravity let any solder blobs fall off. And that's it. The machine should be repaired and it should go for another 5 to 6 years. No need for it to go to landfill. If you want to buy the capacitor, just head over to my website, it's all available there. We ship worldwide for free. US, we do have local distributors in the US, so you can get it within 2 to 3 days. But there's a worldwide shortage due to COVID at the moment, so it may take 10 days for it to get to you, but you can still use the machine in the interim by using the reset method. Okay. Alright, so we've got the thing off. We've just got to plug all the cables back in now. So it's just simply a case of grabbing it and plugging it in like so. Next cable, plug it in like so. Alright, so now we've got the machine back vertical. We will grab the power cord, plug it in, and now magically the machine just turns on without any difficulty. Okay, and we will turn it off with the power button. And now, because the supercapacitor is replaced, when we push on the power button, it automatically turns back on. So this video applies to the M225dw. It also applies to the M265dw, the p225 I think as well it applies to, and other models will be in the description below. Anyway, it's any Xerox printer that is actually made by Brother, not Xerox, that uses the CT351055 drum cartridge, and yeah, the M225 toner. So that's today's video. It's a very quick fix, very easy. And there's no need for your printer to go to landfill. So hope that helps out. Thanks for watching.